All right, y'all. I think we should get started. I'm gonna close the door so it's not so loud. But just pull it. Okay. So first of all, before we get started, thank you all for being here, fighting the traffic, the rain, the construction out front. I was on a conference call when the storm rolled through and there's like lightning behind me, and all my peers were like, "It looks really neat wherever you are right now." I'm like, "You have no idea what we're dealing with here in Houston right now." My name is Justin Carver. I'm an advisory systems engineer at Dell and a member of our data center specialty team. So I'm an extension of DataVox in this space. I'm on the partner side. I provide enablement, help out with customers. We help out with solutioning, sizing. If you're working with DataVox, chances are behind the scenes, you may have worked with me just a little bit, right? So our approach today is Dell has what? 200 plus products in the data center. So I'm going to go through every single one of them one by one, and we're going to talk through all of them. All the technical specs. All the tech specs. Speeds and feeds only. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to talk about any one product, right? We're going to talk about Dell's strategy in this space and what we are doing with our customers and our partner DataVox to take your ideas to innovation. So essentially, the agenda looks a little bit like this, right? We're going to talk about some strategic priorities, some marketing trends, and some challenges out there in this space. And then we're going to really get into the modern data center piece, right? Intelligent and efficient systems, reliable systems, flexible infrastructure, resilient data protection, things like that, right? Again, I'm going to try not to talk about any specific product, right? We're just going to talk a little bit about the strategy. And then we'll talk about why Dell Technologies and DataVox and our partnership together, and why we're the best out there for you. So what you're looking at here on the screen is sort of what is core to Dell, especially in the data center space, from helping our customers from idea to innovation. So what you're looking at is obviously top of mind for everyone right now in this space, artificial intelligence. And you're probably like, another presentation on artificial intelligence. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that one today. So we're going to talk a little bit about modern data center, right? And we're going to talk about expanding multi-cloud, right? Capturing the edge and obviously designing a modern workplace. All of these things that you see across the screen here wrapped in security and sustainability. And so while we're going to focus here on the middle one, I do challenge you all to work with your DataVox team, work with your Dell folks, and come in and join us at our executive briefing center. The closest one to all of us right now is in Round Rock, and we can break apart every single one of these. If you have a specific AI strategy, right? If you're trying to expand at the edge, right? If you're trying to design a robust multi-cloud experience, I invite you to come in, right? I'll be there. Let's talk. DataVox will be there beside you. We're all friends. We're just talking about strategies and talking about, they will get into a little bit of products, but it's executive high level, so it's kind of fun. So before we get too far, talk a little bit about what IT is facing in terms of disruption, but also with that disruption, there's a little bit of opportunity, right? In the AI space alone, obviously it's exploded, right? 81% report that they plan to use generative AI, right, in their space, right? Because they can take data that is on-prem, that is specific to you all, right? Your domain-specific data that you already own, and provide valuable insights on that data, right? And it's all about how is this data and how are these generative AI tools going to save me money or make me money, right? So we can talk through those things. AI obviously is expanding the data growth and usage, right? To report the compounded annual growth rate over 5 years to reach 221,000 exabytes by 2026. And 1 exabyte is 1,000 petabytes. So there's a lot of numbers that my brain can't even fathom at this point. The multi-cloud strategy, right? A lot of folks are facing challenges in this space, right? How do we design the right multi-cloud strategy? Who should we be working with, right? Is it all on-prem? Is it all in the public cloud? Is it a mixture of both? We can talk through those things. All of these things compounded by, obviously, the rising energy consumption. 200% increase in data center power by 2030, right? So obviously, things are demanding more out of the computational requirements of your infrastructure. GPUs and CPUs, especially if you're considering AI in that space. And then again, we're going to finish off at the ever-evolving threat landscape, right? A lot of folks have been impacted by some security attacks in the past. What can Dell do to help safeguard that? How can we provide a resilient infrastructure to help protect you and your data and your environment. So it's all about, right, taking your ideas to innovation, right, unlocking your data's potential, building a robust modern data center. And so Dell and Datavox, right, we can do that alongside you. We can design a modern data center that's smart, resilient, and flexible, right, to whatever your needs are and whatever ideas you have. Let us help you take those ideas to innovation. So in terms of the modern data center approach here, right, it's really these three pillars that you see. Smart, right, energy efficient products, right, embedded automation, a little bit of artificial intelligence operations. And then across the top, we want to design a flexible infrastructure, right? Modern multi-cloud by design instead of by default. An AI-ready infrastructure, if that's the route that we're looking for, and providing a broad ecosystem of support. So a lot of the folks that are downstairs that you all met today in the booths, Dell's working with all of these folks, right? They're all partners of ours where we're providing solutions to all of you as customers. And the infrastructure behind the scenes might be Dell, right? But we might also be leveraging what they're using. So we're all friends downstairs, don't worry. And then when it comes to resilient, right, intrinsic security, right, it needs to be built in and not bolted on. So that's our approach in that space, right? A complete data protection and a little bit of advanced cyber resiliency to continue your business in the event that you are attacked by one of those threats out there. So let's take a look at all of these. In terms of smart, right, save resources, optimize operations. We're going to start with what we're doing in terms of providing advanced sustainability and reducing costs, right? And on the left-hand side there, you're looking at what we're doing in this space in terms of eliminating waste, right? And helping you modernize to eliminate this waste. We have more Energy Star and EP registered platforms than anyone else out there, right? Along the middle, what we're doing is helping provide some reduction of your data, right? Up to a 5-to-1 data reduction guarantee in the storage space, or 55-to-1 in the data protection space, which is absolutely massive, right? And on the right-hand side, leveraging design breakthroughs with advanced thermals, right? Variable speed fans and liquid cooling, some really fun stuff that we're doing with immersion cooling in this space that we'll take a look at. And in terms of advanced cooling technologies, right? If your data center infrastructure doesn't have the ability to bring in facility water, right? That's okay. We are designing solutions that are 100% air cooled, right? It may be a little bit larger because it needs the room for those robust fans to keep your infrastructure cool, and lots of GPUs. Obviously, it's tremendous TDP power being required out of these environments. We want to keep them cool, right? But if liquid cooling is an opportunity that you can take advantage of, right? And we can get more dense in your rack, and we can provide direct liquid cooling capabilities where we've got like cold plates that sit on top of GPUs and CPUs to keep your infrastructure cool. Let's do that. We can do that together. And then 100% immersion cooling, where like your entire infrastructure is living in fluid. If one of y'all want to do that, let me know, because I just want to play with that for a little bit. I've actually seen it in our, again, our customer solution center, which is all of our executive briefing centers that I mentioned in the beginning. We have a customer solution center. And a lot of these customer solution centers, they have access to the immersion cooling tanks where they're like dipping motherboards and GPUs and all kinds of stuff. And it's fascinating. And I have no idea, my feeble mind can't understand how half of that infrastructure continues running when it's immersed in liquid, but fun stuff. And these are our ecosystem partners, right? So we're not doing this alone, right? We have quite a few partners out there that are enabling us in this space. And so this is essentially my ask of all of you is ask your Datavox folks, ask your Dell folks, if we can run this Git efficient assessment. And essentially what we're doing here is we're leveraging tools that are at no cost to any of us in this room, where we can take a snapshot of your infrastructure, right, over a period of time, and we can look at what your current infrastructure looks like to provide more of a modern approach, right? We take some old legacy stuff, we provide more of a modern approach. Here's what it looks like in your environment, right? We can snapshot that. We can tell you exactly what's going on in your environment. Again, it's at no cost. And the whole goal for this, right, and this Git efficient assessment is to help save money, right? Less rack space being utilized in this environment because we're taking tons and tons of servers, legacy stuff, into maybe a handful of servers, right? Dell's latest version of our Power Edge servers. Oh, I said a product. Don't hold it against me. Latest version of our servers is you can do what 5 servers of our previous generation on one single server now, right? So it's all about reducing rack space. It's all about savings in terms of even licensing, but cooling is included in that. 77 more performance just because of all our silicon providers and the advancements in and drive speeds, all kinds of fun stuff like that. 91% less latency, just a lot faster in this space when we can take legacy infrastructure and provide more of a modern approach. And while you're taking more of this modern approach, you have access to tools that are at no cost to any of you, right? When you're buying our solutions, we have these automation tools that are included, right? Something like Cloud IQ. We recently acquired Moogsoft. We're taking these AI operations and providing further insights on your existing infrastructure, right? A faster time to value, a faster time to resolution. That's what we're trying to do, right? If there's something predicted to fail in your environment, you're going to know before it fails, right? This is what we're trying to accomplish in this space, or we are accomplishing in this space, so that you have further insights in your data. And it's fast, right? A quick setup, right? Wrap a policy around thousands of security systems in under 3 minutes. Now we're going to get into the flexible piece, right? And in enabling innovation anywhere with adaptive infrastructure. And I'll tell you what that looks like. And this is pretty much the best of both worlds, right? I'm not going to stand up here and tell you the public cloud is great. You need to move everything to the public cloud. Or everything is great because I'm Dell and I'm an infrastructure company. I want it all on-prem. No, I would never tell you that, right? Because it's both, right? It's not an and story. It's a both story. If it's on-prem, you might be able to leverage increased control, enhanced performance, and more predictable costs. But if you're expanding that out of the on-prem data center through the edge and adjacent public cloud, you can take advantage of increased agility and scalable operations and an ecosystem of services that are available. And you're only consuming and paying for what you use in that space. And what's great is it's any workload, right? It's any location. It can be one of our co-location providers, somewhere that you already have in a partnership with at one of for example, Equinox or Rackspace, right? Maybe you want to leverage the hyperscalers where you're leveraging Azure, AWS. It doesn't matter. All of that across any hypervisor, any location, it's still Dell behind the scenes. It's still the look and feel that you're familiar with, right? Your storage solutions, it's the same IP shared across to the public cloud, right? If you want to transfer data to the public cloud or from the public cloud back down, it's native by design, right? So it's all about multi-cloud by design versus default, right? And this is where our cloud to ground and our ground to cloud story really starts to take shape, because it's our storage solutions, it's our data protection solutions, it's our client devices for that matter, it's compute. All of these things are exactly the same no matter where you're consuming it, which is pretty great, right? And then I don't have to relearn something. And then it's all managed out of those AI operations software that we talked about, Cloud IQ and others. So again, here's my challenge to all of you. We do have a Cloud Smart Discovery Assessment, right? Again, no costs. It's powered by Lab Optics. Give it to DataBox folks. Let us do this discovery. Let us provide you some valuable insights, identify some opportunities. Maybe some solutions, maybe some applications don't make sense to move to the public cloud, right? We can provide that value. We can build a current to future state roadmap for you with our workshop, and then propose the right solution to help you design this multi-cloud infrastructure. And oh yeah, I have to throw in a little bit of AI, right? Because it's top of mind for all of us. So a close personal friend of mine and fellow Austinite, his name is Matthew McConaughey. He has a commercial out there. Have you all seen it? It's Salesforce. And he's walking to the camera, he's pondering like Matthew McConaughey does in all of his commercials. And I'm gonna do an impersonation for a second, okay? So just bear with me. He walks up to the camera and he's like, if AI is the new Wild West, does that make data the new gold? And I'm like, yes, I love that guy. So just constantly playing in my mind every time anytime I have like an AI conversation, especially when it's about bringing AI to your data, because obviously your data is gold. He's spot on, right? Those creative marketing folks, it wasn't him, but he said it, so it was really neat. So
the only way he can say it too.
That's true. It's not the best impersonation, but it felt good, so I might as well do it, right? So what we're doing in this space, and I'm not going to dwell too much on it because I'm sure you've all seen some AI presentations today, but Dell is it's not a me too, it's us first, right? And so what we're doing is we're identifying these key focus areas. What's your objective? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish, right? And then we take it to more of advisory, where we're like, here's the use case. We can help you based on your objective, what you're trying to do, right? It might be document automation, content creation, could be a support assistant, a digital human of some sort, right? 24/7 support for your customers, right? And it's trained on your data that's specific to you, right? So you've got guardrails and policies in place so it doesn't get too crazy with its hallucinations. By the way, I built one of these on a home gaming PC myself, just sort of playing with it. And I was playing around with something called vector databases, but I don't want to go too far into that. And what I did was I had a small model running on my home PC. And I asked it a question. I was like, what can you tell me about PowerStore? And PowerStore is a Dell storage solution. And it said, PowerStore is a great product. It is based on IBM's flash storage array. And I was like, what? It is not based on IBM's flash storage array. And so what was really neat is that I could then take a document, right, our spec sheet, and I could feed the model Dell's spec sheet. And I fed it, it ate it, and then I asked a question. I was like, well, what can you tell me about PowerStore? And then it like basically, simplified what PowerStore is to me, like I'm a 5-year-old, and then I really understood it. I'm like, wow, I can sell this thing now, it's great. So we take all those things, we identify a pattern. That's when the data scientists come into play, the smart guys in the room, smarter than me. And then we decide what the solution is. And early on, I felt like Dell sort of did this wrong, where we were like, hey, we're designing infrastructure with a lot of GPUs and a lot of storage, and it's really great. You use it. And y'all are like, what do we do with this stuff? And we're like, I don't know, let's build something with it. Well, Dell took a step back and we're like, okay, we have to wrap around services to help our customers, right? And what we did was we developed this Dell validated design that you're looking at on the screen right now. It's a framework, and it's a partnership with NVIDIA. And essentially what we've done is, no matter the pattern that you see across the screen there, we've already done the homework. We've built the models, and we provide you a blueprint. And we say, hey, it's guaranteed, it's certified to run on Dell's infrastructure in partnership with NVIDIA's software stack. Right? Well, it's pretty cool. And it's not only NVIDIA out there. They're just ones doing it right. They're leaders in this space right now. And so might as well, they've already done the homework. Let's copy a little bit of their homework, right? All of that powered by, and everything that I talked about today, like I mentioned before, an open ecosystem, right? All the software vendors that you see there and more, right? All of the silicone partners in the space, all the cloud platform providers out there, all of your co-location platform partners that are out there in the space, all based on Dell's best-in-class infrastructure that you see across the bottom there. From the edge to core to cloud, doesn't matter where it's living, right? We can help design the right data center for you. All right, we're going to get into the resilient piece. This is probably top of mind for a lot of folks, right? Data protection, obviously, building a secure infrastructure, reducing risk. It should be top of mind if it's not, right? So we start with your trusted infrastructure that you see across the middle there, and then we start building puzzle pieces around it to protect, right? Intrinsic security, again, that's the built-in, not bolted-on approach, right? Complete data protection solutions, right? For business continuity and disaster recovery, things like that, and then advanced cyber resiliency. And I'll show you what we're doing in that space. All of those things wrapped in incident response and recovery, right? Identifying things before it happens, stopping it, alerting it, providing you an assessment of how to remedy those things. And then our consultancy, our residency, our deployment and support services, and not just Dell, but DataFox, right? And others, right? We're leveraging all these folks so we can best protect your environment and get you back to the appropriate steady state to continue your business, because that's most important. So in terms of intrinsic security, right, it's starting at the source. Where is the solution built? And that is essentially our secure supply chain, right? So it leaves Dell's facilities. No one's going to touch it, play with it. They're not going to load some sort of malware or something like that on it before it arrives here with you, right? And that's our guarantee. And then we wrap in Dell's innovation engine. What we're doing in this space, right? Silicon root of trust, secure boot infrastructure, hard drive encryption, all these things that sort of like build our modern infrastructure of our data center solutions that we are all providing, right? A lot of these things is a shared IP. It's Dell's IP. It's across multiple platforms. They're just doing things a little bit differently. I told you I'm not going to talk about product, but you can read it yourself. There's some product out there. It's pretty neat stuff. And then we're getting the result that you see on the far side, right? So when it's in your environment, it's living in your environment, wrapping around a cyber resiliency architecture so that you're best protected. No matter where it is, no matter where it's living, multi-cloud, on-prem, doesn't matter. We're doing all these things. It's complete data protection. And when I say it doesn't matter, it's your choice, right? Any workload, we support. Any use case, yeah, we do that too. Flexible consumption, we offer that, right? If you want to back up your cloud environment to the cloud, we have that. We can do that. Apex, I'm not gonna do product, not gonna do product. We have a solution for that, right? It's living in the multi-cloud, living in the public cloud, right? If you have an on-prem solution, you want to back up to the cloud, we can do that. If you have a backup solution that is, you want to back up on-prem, we can do that, right? All of these things Dell offers, and we do it really well. Are any of you utilizing Dell's data protection products right now? Good, you're going to in the future, just because based on what you saw right here on this slide, right? Okay, good. In terms of advanced cyber resiliency, this is pretty neat. I unfortunately was, when I worked at a customer, our data center was attacked, and it took us, I worked at a school district, it took us 13 days to get everything back up and running in our environment. Kids don't care, right? Teachers care, administrators care, and the state cares. So faster time to value. If I would have had something like this in my infrastructure, I could have done that, right? I could have gotten us back to a business continuity state much quicker. Because what we're doing in this space is we're taking all of your data center, right? Your unstructured data, your structured data, your compute, your backup appliance, all these things, and then we're associating an immutable, isolated, intelligent, separate data center with an air gap between it, right? So completely separate of your entire infrastructure. It's all living in your environment. In the event that something like that happens to you, this data is good. This data bad. We make this work again, right? Best protect you, provide business continuality, right? Get you back up and running, faster time to value. And so, of course, my ask of all of you, test your cyber resiliency. This is a free tool that we have. It's called the Dell Cyber Resiliency Assessment. I will share this out with everyone that joined us today. It's a link that you go answer some questions, and then we have a live optics assessment. The Dell team, the DataBox team can go in together, run this in your environment, and give you a sort of a health check of what's going on in your environment. And maybe some things need to be addressed, right? Maybe you're great, which congratulations if you are, that's amazing. So all of these things, right? Taking you from idea to innovation, talked about security, we talked about sustainability, all those things wrapped around this to provide a modern data center for all of you. So why Dell, right? We'll start with why Dell, and then we'll go into DataBox. All the things we talked about today, right? Access to market-leading innovation, right? Integrated solutions to tailor any approach. Whatever you need, wherever it is, we have a solution that you can utilize in your environment. On-prem, in the cloud, both, doesn't matter. We can do all those things. And it's highly resilient, right? Affordable, secure, sustainable. So across the smart, flexible, resilient, tell your DataBox person, tell your Dell person, I want to run this Git efficient assessment. I want to look at this cloud smart discovery. There's no strings attached here, right? It's a conversation, it's a little bit of your time. Doesn't cost you anything, right? I've done this as a customer where DataBox or Dell comes in and they run a Git modern assessment, they provide me this data, and I'm like, thank you, I'll see you later. And I like to have insight into my infrastructure, right? And then you can then turn around and utilize these tools, live optics, things like that. They're free. By the way, I got a report recently of the folks that are running live optics, and live optics is sort of a Dell tool. Dell developed it, but anyway, it's available to anyone. The folks that utilize it the most are our competitors. They're utilizing our tools because it's great. It just works. That being said, thank you all for your time. Thank you for joining us. World-class facilities here at DataBox and world-class support. So I leave you with that. If you have any questions, please let me know.